Hello everybody, it's Friday, so it must be a buy day, and we are coming to you live from the Midtown Scholar tent sale, right here in the heart of Midtown, Harrisburg. Come on in, and let me show you what we have. Inside the tent, we have 15,000 books, all priced $3 and under. So you can come, do your own treasure hunt, and find your own remarkable finds. I was at a book sale yesterday in Annville, Pennsylvania. I had 3 dealers come up to me and say they found amazing things here at the tent sale. So we're open through Sunday. Come check it out. But Connecticut is the gift that keeps giving, and I wanted to show you 3 new finds for Buy Day Friday that came straight from Connecticut. Now, the first book is a really interesting book because it is a homemade binding, and it was bound in 1826 by a gentleman named John Pepperday. How do I know that? Well, I know that because he's bound his name into the book. And it is a collection of colloquies by Erasmus, which was a really interesting way to learn Latin in the old days. John, however, didn't like it very much. And as a result, he was forced by his teacher to write, "Avoid punishment, avoid punishment, avoid punishment, avoid punishment." And then he dated it down here in 1826. And to make matters worse, his teacher told him to take that, paste it to the boards of this Erasmus book, and then rebind the book so he would always remember to study his Latin. So there's an example of a homemade binding. The second book is actually a pair of books, and these are widely considered the most famous poem in the English language, Paradise Lost. And speaking of bindings, look at the binding label on this one. This is an 18th century binding label before they had to be perfect, and it shows the character of the binder. But Paradise Lost, of course, by Milton, is a fascinating work, and this is interesting because it is extra illustrated, which means the person who bound this book took illustrations from future Milton books and tipped them in. These were not original illustrations published in the book. He also was sort of annoyed that this edition from 1720s didn't include a life of Milton, so he wrote one himself. And he put that in the back of the book in manuscript. And if you like Milton, you might like the illustrated versions that came out later in the Victorian period. My favorite is this by Gustave Doré, the French illustrator, which is one of the great romantic illustrated books. Here's a example of Doré's work. This is the devil descending to earth. If you've watched the TV show Lucifer, you might see how inspired it clearly was by Doré and by Paradise Lost. Now, I would call these illustrations stunning and terrific, and so would Milton because he invented the use of those 2 words in Paradise Lost. All right, we're going to finish with a funny one. Now, you know that we're a scholarly bookstore. We love scholarly books, and I had the ultimate scholarly book. This is a book that was published in both Dutch and English. It is a study of testosterone in rats, and it is hundreds of pages filled with the smallest and most important graphs teaching you everything you could possibly want to know about rat testosterone. But I want you to imagine yourself again, this time being this researcher in Holland. You finished your magnum opus, you send it to the publisher, and the publisher says, okay, yes, you can write half of it in Dutch and half of it in English, but what it really needs is some killer cover art. You say, okay, we'll go with killer cover art, and then it comes back from the printer with perhaps the most ridiculous illustration ever on a scholarly work. There you go, our bespeckled rat studying the human. I challenge anyone to find a more ridiculous cover to a scholarly work. All right, we'll be back next week and every week on Fridays for 3 new finds. Come and check out the tent sale. Until next week, I'm Eric Papenfuse saying so long.